Still catching up. Still catching up. You just entered the Nightmare Gate. Okay.
There we go, we see the
We're good.
Alright, okay. Oh wow, I forgot how many slimes there were here. So, Zephyr, was the little shiny blue sparkle effect on enemies in the RPG are always there? Because I only noticed it playing through on Nightmare mode on this on the more recent update.
It was always there. It wasn't in the initial update. It's to help with certain, like, you can parry this with Claire.
Yeah.
So these slimes are the easy grind slimes. Everything in this is a slight shade of red, and they're not called alpha, they're called betas now.
Right.
They have like super increased EXP gain, and this is so the player, if they are not max level, they will most likely be max level, and if not, there's the 2 level 99 armor guys, and then there's there's a level 255 armor guy at the very end. So if not, you'd have to be super behind to not be suddenly maxed out by that encounter alone.
So, what exactly is the frame window for pairing this the night guys? Because it feels like it's just 1 frame.
It's 5 frames.
5 frames.
Yeah, the characters have a universal 5 frames. It could be, yeah, it's 5.
So apparently everybody's just really bad at figuring out their tells then.
Okay, now in fairness, 5 frames is fairly tight for the normal person.
Well, I mean, it's 30 FPS, so that's like 10 frames on 60 FPS.
Yes.
I mean, basic math. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at a roughly 1/16 of a second window there.
Yeah, that's actually more lenient than I thought.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's really, really neat because this isn't the game's main feature. It needs to be more lenient.
Well, I'm doing a better job pairing tonight than I was last night, at least, just while we kind of test.
Yeah, last night's VOD has pure parrying spaghetti, and
so here's I like the concept of this screen a lot, because I don't know if this was your intent or what, but I like how you have to actually go around and kind of clear out the enemies beforehand, or else you're in for a nasty surprise later on.
Oh yeah, yeah.
This screen is very intimidating the first time you get here, because it is fucking massive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's huge, and messing up at the end means oh no.
Yeah, I think everybody's like fallen in a pit near the end of this screen once or twice.
Yeah, there were a lot of, I swear, like every month during development, I would make the platforms at the bottom longer, because there used to not be as much floor space at the bottom. The pits would become smaller. Like, I swear, like every month I would just I wouldn't even mention it, I would just ninja that in there, just be bigger platforms throughout development. Like, no one even say anything, I would just look at the map and go, yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to put myself in the eyes of a player, and I'm like, I'd be mad if I fell 5 minutes into this map.
So, Zephyr, who is Alexander the Bird?
So at work, there's a bunch of grackles, and
I knew it! I fucking knew it!
I love how I don't have to say the rest of the story. Like that alone.
It's good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we saw your YouTube videos with the grackles. They were
Oh yeah.
fascinating.
like every day, like I had to carry bread with me, because every day, even getting to the Destroyer of Worlds, yeah. Even getting to the building from my car, they will approach. And sometimes massive amounts of them will approach. They just know my face.
The Grackle Whisperer.
Yes. Yeah. They know me pretty well, so. One of them, if I start recognizing them after a while, they get names. There's about 3 or 4 of them that are regulars that I recognize. One of them, yeah, they're regulars. Like I can just be like, oh, I know which bird that is. I've had one. There's a bird out there I've known for, God, close to 4 years, and she'll disappear for months. She'll come back. No joke. This bird, she's one of the few that will approach and eat out of my hand.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, I mean they're still skittish. I mean they're wild birds. They're not used to this, so but they know enough that they can approach.
So
This is
Alexander
It's just
ended up
picture.
getting his own little cameo, I guess.
Yeah, he's one of the male grackles.
it's just it's just kind of funny how you just kind of have your just just birds in DT3 because you like birds. It's a very very funny aesthetic that I just kind of like.
There's a lot of, I mean, this isn't a lot of games though. You just won't know about it. Like developers sneak in so many just weird random things. I believe, I could be wrong on this one. I believe there's a level in Ratchet and Clank where the enemies are squirrels, like the main enemy are squirrels, and that has to do with because there was. They had a day where they were down. They were almost down for a few hours, actually, and it had to do with a squirrel had gotten into the building and chewed up a wire.
I see.
Had to do with it. I could be wrong on that one. I remember hearing something about that.
That's good. That's
Alright,
pretty
I
good.
think I've mostly cleared out this area now, so...
If anybody in chat asks, like, how the hell do you recognize the grackles? I look at them, they look the same. There's markings, fish or markings. But think of it, the way I always describe it though, because I get this question a lot from people, is like think about like if you go to a mall or just any busy place and you just see people and it's just a sea of people. No, you don't really recognize one, but you see your friend and you're like, I can pick him out in the middle of a group of people, and that's essentially what it's like. You just recognize certain features.
I see.
I mean that's pretty much, that's really all it is. It's just like, cool, yeah. I guess they do it by eyes because there's days where I would be like super covered up in the winter. I'm a wuss when it comes to cold, so I cover up big time. And I have my face covered, but I could see to my eyes, and the birds are still approaching, and I'm thinking, how? Like, how do you know it's me? So I'm thinking they do it through eyes, because I don't get it. So.
Well, that was a story about birds, I guess.
Yeah, that was.
It's not about, it can't be smell, because birds have an awful sense of smell.
Right.
Most of them.
Well, except like vultures, right? But
Yeah.
So there's like a bunch of slimes on top of each other up there, and you get a ridiculous Unreal guy for beating them.
Because they infinitely spawn. I don't think they have an upper limit. I think, no, there is. The game will eventually be like, no, I think it's like 64 of them spawn. It just goes, nah, don't go.
64.
Yeah, I think every 15 seconds it spawns one. So every 15 to 20 seconds it spawns one. Yeah, after 64 it just goes stop. Total on screen though. Like if there's any others, it'll count those as well.
So another aspect of this area, I guess, is that you kind of have to switch between Jerry and Claire because each of them can kind of access different parts of the screen at any given time.
Yes, I always get really happy when people figure out the puzzle there with those crystals. Because like my testers figured it out, and they were like, yeah, it took me a little bit to figure it out, but like, yeah, I guess that should be all right. And so that spot always made me worry a little bit. I'm like, this is a little too weird.
I don't know if I think I figured out like the kind of thing that you can do like in the Castle of Doom, so I didn't get too confused when I saw it. I kind of thought of it, but yeah, I can kind of see why you'd be a little worried because it's very unintuitive at first, I'd say.
Yeah, like it's not even a normal thing for DT. Like if
Right.
You could say it's DT-ish, but it usually doesn't do stuff like that. It's just like with the update stuff. I won't say specifically just in case some of the people here haven't played the update. You know, some of the things in there, as you guys have seen,
Yeah.
we were a little shaky on.
One thing with the update, into the, let's say, final boss fight, I didn't realize that Jeremy's mech form has special attacks in both up plus A and up plus B, so it took me a good while to actually figure out what to do on that boss to keep my combo up.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people actually don't know about that.
Yeah, the game doesn't tell you, and which is weird because actually the only way to get through that is to know about that.
Yeah. I think like the first time you use Jeremy in the mech, it should just like pop up an explanation of his controls or something, because it's not really obvious that up plus A and up plus B do stuff, in my opinion.
Yeah, I've thought about adding some way of Jeremy going, yo, I can do this thing.
Well, you could just do the usual pop-up, like at the top right.
Window, yeah.
Alright, so there's clearly something I'm missing at the moment.
Pop up like 3 of those things on screen, one for each of them.
You just have Jeremy just like, yeah, Jeremy just like talk to himself for a second. It's like, oh yeah, I can do this and this, and it's like, what the fuck are you doing? And it's like, oh, just, psyching myself up.
I can see Jeremy doing that. Yeah, like it's like that. Like you have those other meters in there, and my thought process is someone's gonna go, what are these for?
Yeah.
And then start pressing buttons. Which I've seen that it's not universal, but I have seen people do that.
Speaking of the more unorthodox things in the update, let's say, thanks for the hints, by the way, to get to it. Let's just say.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody would figure that out without the hints on Twitter.
I think actually that Neil would have, because he was already getting to that spot, but he was just like kind of one person in our Discord, I think.
Oh yeah.
But also the other thing in the expansion section, it's kind of, the other kind of off thing.
Oh yeah.
That confused a healthy amount of people in our Discord too. I kind of figured, I kind of realized it instantly, but yeah, I can definitely see why you'd be a little worried, but I think you make it clear enough.
Yeah, it didn't take me too long to figure out. Like, main thing I did, I actually tried wrong, let's say passwords for a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
we did let you suffer.
Yeah, but the actual, like, mechanic didn't really take long to figure out. So, I'm wondering what
no, Slakes, there's a visual novel Discord. There's a visual novel based Discord. There's a whole bunch of channels there. They've invited me to go in there. And their gaming channel that DT3 has taken over, as I've seen.
Very much it's taken over.
You kind of missed the huge boom where it was like literally just pages and pages every day.
Yeah.
And that was like when it was just when Mugi was playing it, like after I had finished it. So.
Okay.
Yeah, like we pretty much got everybody there who plays like games, period, to play it. And I was missing an obvious red switch. Please don't bully me once you see what I was missing this entire time.
It's a really good visual novel, Slakes. Speaking of visual novels, have you guys, like, they're visual novel like in certain respects. Have you guys played like Life is Strange or Night in the Woods?
I have not.
I have.
Well, we'll have to talk about them because I have nothing to offer.
Mugi is sadly. You will find out that Mugi is sadly more towards the Japanese side of media for the most part, but I dabble in the Western things quite often. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Life is Strange. Not Life is Strange. I loved that one. I didn't enjoy Night in the Woods as much. I mean, there was nothing wrong with it. I think I went into it wrong. The trailers legit made me think it was a visual novel / platformer. It is not. It is like a visual novel straight up with like some gameplay little thingies thrown in there, and I was like, oh. So that weirded me out. I'm like, when does the gameplay start? Like, what? I just run to the left and right, talking to characters. What is going on? And then like it was like day 3 in the game. I'm like, right, I'm stupid.
The quote gameplay and like in these games are getting stranger and more like pointless as time goes on. I find, especially in like Telltale stuff. that they've been doing. And, like, the gameplay portions are starting to get more superfluous, I should say, and like as it keeps going. And I don't know, like Life is Strange, like did like kind of just gave up immediately on it, like, and just kind of was better for it, of course.
Yeah, there's no actual lose condition for either of those games.
Yeah.
In Life is Strange's case, anytime Max would be in a situation where she's in life-threatening danger, the game will auto-freeze and say you have to go back to a point to when she's not in danger.
You know, Moogie, you can just use the chainsaws and then double jump a million times and you'll get there much easier.
I know. I ended up doing it the wrong way anyway, because that's actually the way I learned to do it, and it felt a little more comfortable, so...
I disagree on that, Slikes. I didn't mind the gameplay sequences in Life is Strange. The only part that bothered me was Chapter 2's bottle thing. Like that, the bottle collection. That was the only part that I felt just straight up like I'm quitting right now. Like this is dumb. Because there was that one bottle that was just hidden in that spot, and I'm like,
bottle collection.
You know,
it's like an MMO, it's an MMO gathering quest randomly. Like what the fuck is like? It's so dumb.
I mean, unless you mean like, unless you mean that the dialogue sequences where, like when going back and forth between dialogue sequences and having Max learn new things, unless you consider that not gameplay, then, well, yeah, okay, I agree. Like that, those were, if you mean those are gameplay, let's see.
Yeah, the stealth section in Chapter 5 too was.
Okay, I see.
Pretty
those.
Gross.
There's a stealth section in that game.
Yes, there is.
Kind of ish, yeah. I didn't mind that too much. I knew the game, because it was really short, and I knew the game was going to return to form really, really quickly. So those didn't bother me all that much, simply because it was just like, for me, it was a nice slight change of pace, just to see what they would do with it. But I agree, it wasn't really good, but I didn't mind the effort that they tried that. Except for the bottle thing. They did make fun of the bottle thing, though, in Chapter 5. Even they saw that.
Why? Why even bother? Like, what is even the point?
Yeah, that's like one thing that is always kind of, I don't know, and I'm ambivalent on is like games pointing out that the gameplay is bad. Because like, I mean, it can be done funnily in some places, but like, if you know your gameplay is bad, why didn't you change it instead of, you know, just calling attention to it?
Yeah, well, they called attention to it like months later, like that. The chapters.
Yeah, the Chapter 5. It was, you know, it's like the Telltale thing where every chapter is its own game, basically.
Right. Okay. So we actually beat that screen.
You did finally. We're slightly making fun of you there.
The map on that screen, which I forgot to use until the very end, is pretty helpful, by the way. So people who are attempting that on their own would want to actually make use of it, unlike me.
It was pretty amazing to see that an actual map, like another map, because you don't use maps outside of the Zelda gate. Like it never comes back after that.
Yeah, maps aren't a thing in DT.
And I guess like Zelda is a pretty appropriate place because, you know, there's the Water Temple is pretty involved, and I keep calling it the Water Temple because it's the Water Temple, but it's the Water Palace technically. But
yeah, same thing really.
Like in the Forest Temple, I'm gonna call that too, is like they're both pretty easy to get lost in, I should say, if you kind of lose focus for a second. So.
Yeah, like I said, like back in that video, the Forest Temple is actually pretty much, I consider, the most complex puzzle in the game. Double kill! And it's just kind of, you know, there near the start.
Yeah, it's really close to the start. And that's why I had to leave, like, I guess multiple solutions to things. Except for one of the chests, or one of the items. To get one of the items, you have to do something a little silly.
Oh, yeah.
I was impressed because I thought like that seemed like pretty hard to make, because I figured like because of the flip mechanic it would like just kill you every time that like you flipped. It's like, oh shit, everything's broken, and then have to redesign stuff from because the thing you added broke everything?
Yeah, there was a little bit of having to go. That didn't work. Okay, this side's like this, and then it doesn't work anymore.
So confession, I got the heart piece there by coming back with double jump.
I see.
I'm sorry. So the platforming on this screen is a bit easier after the executive.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the Forest Palace used to just be another dungeon like the Desert Palace. It was just another Zelda dungeon with really no new mechanic or gimmick or anything. It just had like these weird invisible, I guess, floors that you could fall through. They would be marked. You just had to pay attention to that. But I was just like, I don't want two of these. I guess essentially the Great Palace was the same thing, really. But I was like, I didn't want two of those things, so I changed it. And I thought, well, this being the Zelda thing, let's have it a little more puzzly, like the Water Temple was. That's a word, puzzly.
I felt bad for Robin when I was watching his playthrough because he played the game only in like 20-minute spurts, and he had to stop on the Water Temple and then come back to it, and then got lost immediately because he didn't know where he was.
Double kill.
Wow, I died right there. Oh, we're on this screen. I actually find pretty funny, the one with all the signs on the mountain. Like, is this a parody of anything in particular, or just like overly hand-holdy modern games?
Yeah, it's kind of the latter right there.
Okay.
Over-tutorializing, even though DT3 actually does, in a lot of ways, over-tutorialize early on.
I generally think DT3 has pretty much the ideal level. Like stuff that isn't terribly obvious is explained in text, and then you pretty much figure the rest out. There are a few nibbles, like I said about the Jeremy controls earlier, but I'm pretty much fine with the level of tutorializing you have.
Yeah, that was never a complaint for me.
Yeah.
And also, I think that, one of the best things that I can say about DT3 in terms of, just overall, progression is, you made the difficulty curve perfect, I have to say. Rarely ever is there such a smooth difficulty curve. Except for War Master. War Master just kind of kicks you in the dick.
Yeah, I do like that War Master is such a huge difficulty spike, because actually one of my personal pet peeves in games is when the final boss is like a pushover, and I really like it when the final boss actually makes you work to finish the game itself. So War Master was right up my alley in that regard.
That works.
Alright, so I should be at level 64 after this encounter. Assuming the skeletons
You
don't
definitely will be. You can be sub 60 and still be at the end of this encounter. It gives you so many points. I mean, you're gonna definitely be 64 if you keep playing the way you are.
Damn!
Dude, Zephyr just got changed. Oh, that was good.
Dissed by the creator himself. So, I think for a nightmare-only ability for the RPG game, giving you the parry game power restoration from the executive fight might work out pretty well.
Oh wow, that's a good idea. I never thought of that.
Wait, what was it? Given the what?
The restoring game power when you parry, like in the executive fight.
Oh yeah. That's kind of like the same. I guess the same mindset I had when I increased the dash recovery for Wax was the fight needs to keep moving.
Oh, you don't even have to kill that last guy.
Oh wow. I don't think I've ever seen that happen.
Well,
Nice.
Zephyr.
and I got the.
You got an ornithology major.
Yeah, I got it from the one bird on Claire's head. Alright, so let's see how Sephiroth goes. When I first fought Sephiroth, I had no idea he was weak to chainsaws at the start of the fight. So it took me longer than it probably should have.
That means the bird on your head was the 11,000th and 111th bird you've seen.
Yeah.
Oh, that means Sephiroth's bird flip is going to be Plus one.
So-
Oh,
Yeah,
imagine
oh my
if
God.
that,
Yeah,
that would have
imagine
been
if I
amazing.
got-
That was the one. Oh my god.
Oh, you're so close. So, Sephiroth. He sure is a thing.
He's a boss. He is a boss that
Sephiroth.
wins against you many, many times.
Yeah, so I'm assuming his sprite is from like a Kingdom Hearts game.
Yeah, it's supposed to be that. It's a sprite edit, of course, but or sprite. I think it's a custom sprite.
Oh, really? Huh.
Unique sprite. Yeah, I don't think it's from any game. I think somebody just made it, but I think it's based on the Kingdom Hearts one. I could be wrong. Huge in the
So
face.
this fight is gonna be me learning the timing without the shield because I used the shield my first time through the game.
Oh, become me.
That's what we're gonna end up doing. So, like, we were commenting last night that Sephiroth is, like, the one enemy that's, like, actually very well designed for parrying. Like, even more so, like, we find, like, the actual skeletons and stuff harder to parry than this guy because his animations are so well choreographed. And I guess that's just a side effect of the sprite you use, really. But the huge black,
Yeah.
the black path on the sword helps a lot, too, I think.
If I was a spriting guy, I would have added frames to a lot of things.
Right.
Pixel artist, I guess.
So, Sephiroth seems to be have one of the most volatile like reactions to like how hard people find him. Like I saw something on the like Raukow's forums that seemed to just fucking get face planted by Sephiroth, and I heard a couple people that like struggle a lot on him, but like he took me like I think 20-30 minutes or something like that, I think, and like Kefit took him 15 too or something like that. So it's like it seems to be I don't know, I'm actually just not sure like what causes the giant difficulty disparity of Sephiroth, but he has like one of the widest bridges aside from Helmet Head, who has the widest.
Yes.
Yeah, Sephiroth he just moves really fast. So like when you get hit, you often get hit twice. If you've noticed, like there's a pattern. I see that with a lot of people when I watch them. Raukad even did the same thing. He often would get hit twice. Like you mess up once and then your rhythm is off.
Yeah, it's all about a rhythm, basically.
Also, his jump slash is very, very like I don't. It's like your first instinct is to parry it, but like you have to move into the position to parry it because like the jump. Because if you like try to parry like at the hilt of the blade or anything back, you just won't get the frames, or you'll just take contact damage from him instead.
Right. Yeah, and what Zero says is valid there. Mashing the shield button makes it so your shield meter goes down faster. It spikes it down, as people have noticed that. And we obviously know the reason there. Yeah, so Six said there was a version way back in the day when the game wasn't out where the War Master wasn't there. So at the end, when I said the game was done, you get to War Master and the dialogue basically heads in the direction of we don't need to fight, and War Master steps down and actually, he steps down and then tells Jeremy, you can get through this door here, or like he just leaves and they do this standard sequence, and like the testers were like, what the fuck? like what? And Zero was amazing, and I'm just kind of giggling the whole time, of course, because I knew what was going on. Zero like typed up this. It was like, what was it, 2.5, 3 pages of like a Word document, double spaced there, like Word document, just basically half raging at me, and half like ideas like, you could do something like this, like why would you win the game like this? It even mentioned there like, and I'm gonna laugh if this is just a joke, and then I had him on, we were on Skype at one point, revealed the big thing to him. It was a pretty amazing thing because I was like, I'm out of moments to just troll the shit out of my testers here. I've got one more thing I can do. So.
So, are there any other moments of you trolling them throughout the course of the game? I know you mentioned the Sephiroth dance-off.
Yeah, that was almost the thing. That was almost the actual legit in-game thing. can't remember too many of them. They probably remember more than I do.
So one funny thing I find about Sephiroth is that like the way like just watching him doesn't like it really doesn't convey just how like much focus and tension that you like this fight actually has. Like just watching him doesn't seem that much because it's very, you know, like wide and telegraphed attacks coming at you that you parry. But man, playing it is so different.
It is.
Yeah, I'm not
back
saying
in
much because
DT1.
I have to actually like focus on his attacks and all that.
Mugi, you've played DT1. You remember? I won't say anymore, but yeah, you remember the primary level towards the end there.
Oh yeah.
That whole level was a secret too. The I think it had two tests. Slakes and there was another guy who would come and go. They didn't know about it. They thought the level before that was the last level, and so it took a while. And so they got to the end, and then they realized there was more. And that little surprise at the end there was, they were like, "Oh my god!" Like they had no idea it was coming up. So that was fun.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So from like that level that you're thinking of, that you think is the last level, to the very end, I had the whole rest of the game done. It was a nice little fun thing.
By the way, speaking of War Master, I will say I like your approach of the expansion bosses, let's say, and going for like heavy genre switching and bending and stuff like that because you didn't want to like try and one-up War Master, and as like in a pure combat like scenario. It was a really good decision, I think, and it paid off.
Yeah, like I might
yeah.
not... Go ahead.
Oh. And that's also kind of a DT tradition to not have the, I guess we'll say the final boss, like the big final boss, not be the actual final boss. So Chapter 121 kind of fits in with that DT thing.
Yeah, we were mentioning how you just die immediately if you get your rhythm off, and that happened to me right there.
I was like, Mugi wanted to say something. I'm just waiting for it, but then I realized you were also doing hyper focus mode.
Yeah, I'm also fighting Sephiroth. I don't even remember what I was gonna say.
For some gacha games, 1% is pretty awful. A lot of them, they do like 5% things, depending on the game.
Don't mention gacha with Mugi here. You're gonna trigger something fierce.
Okay, yeah. I have I understand the reasonings there. I have a bit of a big hatred for it because it tends to overtake the actual gameplay.
Let me tell you, this is a rant that will go on forever if you start this. So
Right, okay, yeah. The chat was talking about it, so I was like, well, I'll respond to that. Played a few of those in my time. They're mostly time wasters at work when downtimes.
There's a very large there's a large disdain, let's say, for
Oh, I understand entirely.
it comes from a place of bitterness, from like because let's say like, okay, to explain a bit, Kinaku Nasu, right? If you know him, was the writer of Fate Stay Night, and you know, like basically he's a really big deal, let's say, as a writer. And there's been a couple of us that have been waiting for a sequel to one of his games that he wrote fucking 7 years ago, and you know, 2 sequels actually. You know, I can't figure Tsukihime 2. But basically, he went into what we like to call the mobile game vortex.
Yeah.
And he is never coming out, and we're just basically like sitting here. We basically submitted that we're never getting them now because like Fate Grand Order is insanely popular and it's never going away. So, like, it makes me pretty pissed. Like, and it's kind of like, yeah, I just kind of am very bitter about like mobile games because of it.
Yeah, if you follow Japanese gaming at all, it's kind of a depressing situation because pretty much everybody has realized you can make a lot more money by making a gacha game than making like an actual game. And
Yeah.
we're seeing so many franchises just, turned into generic gacha games, and it's sad. And I think I'm starting to pick up the timing a bit. So who knows?
You're doing that was really good. That was a good attempt there.
This is basically just like what you do for gold time Sephiroth.
Yeah.
It's just it's just pure parrying, nothing else.
Yep. Yeah, the no parry strat is OP. Which
No
is
parries.
basically it's a game of get the fuck away from Sephiroth until you can dash again.
I actually didn't. My first time beating Sephiroth, I played him like with the dash ring equipped and shit. Like I would pretty parry light, let's say, when I did it, except for hit because I had no idea how to like parry the jump slash. I was just like I don't know, and I just dashed through it instead.
One of these days we'll hear the entirety of One Winged Angel play.
This is the Kingdom Hearts version of One Winged Angel, right? Kingdom
Yes,
Hearts?
it is.
Yeah.
It felt the most fitting as far as like how the action was playing out.
Yeah, Wafu is actually a pretty big fan of Kingdom Hearts, well, the gameplay anyway.
Shut the fuck up. Okay. I thought you were going somewhere different with
No,
that.
I'm not gonna claim you're like some sort of Kingdom Hearts fanboy, even though you are.
I like the
Okay.
second one. I haven't played the other ones because I don't have ColecoVision and every other console out there to play them. This is untrue now. You can play them on the PS4, I know. But I'll probably never get to them. I absolutely hate the first game, though. Cannot stand it.
Too many gummy ships.
Too many shit level design and not knowing where the hell you're going. Like, the monster level is probably the worst thing. Alice in Wonderland was like the first level you go to, and you just go to the same room, and it's like, okay, which door combination do I go through to advance the plot? I don't know. Apparently, it's actually different rooms, but you can't tell that from just looking at it. And it's like, what? And Monstro is terrible. The Peter Pan level, the ship part would have been not as bad if it just didn't suffer. I don't know. It was really, really weird. They just weird like repeat content mindset there. Except then you get to Hollow Bastion and they hired a real level designer.
Yeah, Hollow Bastion is actually like where I kind of like got confused. And I was like, what? What happened here?
I was like, okay, like I legit enjoyed the level design in like the actual game. I mean, I didn't mind the combat in the game too much. It was slower paced than like Kingdom Hearts 2, but it was fine. It was nothing offensive or anything like that. But the level design, I quit that game twice. Like 2 or 3 times I quit that game, and I got to the Coliseum level, and I just stopped playing.
Oh my
and then
god.
eventually I was like, okay, I'll sit down and play, and I stomached through it. And then I played the second one, and I'm like, man, this is so much better.
Yeah, like
When do I get to play Sora?
I remember playing the second one. It took so long to get out of the tutorial that I just didn't, and I never finished it.
God.
Okay,
Roxas,
yeah.
Roxas, the opening like 2 hours of Roxas is maybe like one of the worst things ever put in a video game, and
Yeah, it's a really lengthy tutorial there. It's still, at least I had an actual place to look around. It was like, by comparison to Kingdom Hearts 1, it was just like, this is awesome. maybe it was one of those things. And then, yeah. And other than the musical, everything else was fine. I guess I didn't mind the musical, the Little Mermaid musical too much. It was definitely really jarring to see that.
it's just kind of like cringy, is what it is. Like it's
Yes. I 100% of that like the first time through. I'm like, I don't want to do this ever again.
It's like I want to say it's almost the kind of cringy that like 10-2 is, but it's not quite the same, but it kind of is.
Yeah, 10-2 is kind of a
10-2
mess
is another
plot-wise.
game,
I
right?
love the gameplay of 10-2.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, 10-2 is super fun.
I would say it has the best battle system in the Final Fantasy series, but too bad about the rest of it.
Oh god, the opening, the Charlie's Angels opening is like burned in my brain. I'll never forget it.
Right. And then they have that song at the end, and I'm like, I'm gonna make fun of that song again. I can't. It's actually good. God damn it. It's like right before they go to the penis mobile thing. Like the giant penis mech thing, whatever it was. And I'm just like, okay.
Oh, Moogie.
Yeah.
So good. Oh, shit. No,
Yeah.
not so good.
So is so close.
I'm getting
You're getting
closer.
pretty good. You
Yeah.
are.
I'm learning the
I do
timings.
love, like, I do love the first strike spaghetti and instant game over.
Yeah.
Penis Mobile and Penis Mech. Yeah, there we go. It was almost like going from 13 to 13-2. 13 was kind of a mess in certain ways. I actually liked the more linear section to 13.
Oh yeah.
When they opened up, I felt the game wasn't at its strong point anymore. Like the gameplay fit a more linear narrative progression as far as like how the gameplay worked.
I'll just say, like, the open world section that everyone's like, oh, once you get 20 hours into shit, Final Fantasy. For one, that's an insanely stupid compliment to give. Like, it's like that's not a good point. It's not a selling point. Oh, just play it for 20 hours, then you'll end up here every time. But I mean, like, for two, like the open world part of Final Fantasy 13 is so extremely overrated. It's like there's really not as much to explore or like do as like it makes you think.
It's not even really open. It's a really small enclosed area that the little zone you have, and I think there's like one other offshoot zone in the part where you go to the weird tower thing that was shit. I hated that level. It was so dumb. I didn't understand that level. I had done like 20 hunts before I went there. I don't know. I did a ton of hunts, and so I was like way overpowered. I was like, is this what they're supposed to do? I hope so. The game said do hunts, so I did hunts.
So 13 is like the big turning point where Final Fantasy plots went from silly to brain dead, like insanity. Like,
yeah, I like the plot. I like the characters in the plot of 13 up to when Space Pope reveals himself, and I'm like, this guy really stupid. He comes in and he's like, look guys, look how evil I am. He's just as bad as Hex is. I'm the most evil guy ever. Bathe in my evilness, and I'm like, stop. You're not. You have these complicated characters with all these motives and all these great things, and then you come in the most generic villain ever. Why don't you compliment these actual good characters that we have? It was trash. And then, and the one thing, and I like the end in that they shit on the villains. Like they're like, no, like the villains had this like idea, and then the main characters go, nah, we're gonna stop your plans right in the end. And I liked that little thing at the end. They kind of give the oh my god, I can't speak anymore. The villains a middle finger right at the end, and I like that plot point. And the one thing I didn't like about 13 too, despite I love its, they fixed up the combat system a little bit, made it a little faster pace, and then like the progression of the game and just the sequencing of the game is really, really neat. But that game's story shits on the ending of the first game. They said it was like, oh, it's divine intervention, the reason that made that work. And I'm like, what? You just shit on the characters' like efforts there. Why? Why would you even say that as a thing? You could have written that line out, that whole plot point out, and it would have been the same game, or the same plot.
Yes.
Well, 13. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I wasn't like super big into like 13 from the start, but yeah, like 13-2 is like 13-2 is a special case of kind of why in the most cases, and like it really didn't even 13 did not need a story extension at all. 13-2 shouldn't really exist, and like 13-3 is even more hilarious in terms of like what are you people even doing anymore?
Yeah. I played an arc of 13-3. It's neat. I mean, as a gameplay.
The gameplay is really fun. 13-3.
Yeah.
But like, my favorite part of 13-3 is when like, lightning has no emotions anymore, and then immediately is like, oh, so do this explicit thing for emotional regions only, even though you have no emotions. What? Fuck. Fucking.
There's a couple things you'll see I can go on rants on. That's one of them. Sometimes I go on rants, as you just saw.
It's fine. We have nothing better.
Yeah.
That works. Yeah, while you're grinding out Sephi here.
We're in pure Sephiroth spaghetti at the moment, so I mean.
He'll get it.
Yeah.
Like he'll just be like, aha.
We're doing
And
pretty solid here.
I did not have any feeling at the end of 13-2. I actually kind of smiled at the end. I'm like, good, she's finally dead. I did not care for her at all. I straight up did not. I had no. I hated her as a character, honestly, for the most of that story. For one, I hated the plot of 13-2. I didn't care. As soon as, the biggest thing, the way to make me not give a shit about plot is to have time travel. most of the time I don't hate time travel, but I basically hate most time travel stories.
Well, 13.2 is a special case of it's time travel, LOL, kind of like kind of writing, and like it just kind of because it's time travel and nobody's defined what the rules are, we can do whatever the fuck and it makes sense to us, XD. So
yeah. They did this weird thing. I don't know if this movie, and actually you guys might know this a little more. This feels like a very Japan thing, in that that 13.2 would address like, oh, it's the paradox, like when they talk about like time paradoxes, but they would address the paradox as if it was a living, breathing thing, like as if it was this own entity, and they did this multiple times. And this feels like a very Japan thing.
It sounds more like a Final Fantasy thing to me.
Yeah,
Yeah. Square writers.
Yeah,
Hashtag Square writers. Okay.
I mean, like, look at the end of Final Fantasy VIII. I have no idea what was going on in Final Fantasy VIII, but they sure like bringing up time compression a lot.
Yeah, the end of 8 is really strange, but I love the final level in that game though.
Oh yeah, the castle is pretty cool.
And I love the theme. I thought the theme in that, the music, the ending theme in that was really, really cool.
But did you know that Squall is actually dead?
Oh, not that theory. I've read all these theories because I was, oh my god.
That's my favorite one, like, besides Link is dead and Majora's Mask. That's also a pretty good one.
That's another fun one, yeah. And it's like, I mean, Claire's dead in this whole game too, so...
Good to know!
Claire's mom got her, huh?
Is that why the engineer had the line about dating bots? It was foreshadowing all along.
Oh shit.
There we go. Like Jerry has a thing for dead girls, there we go.
Oh shit. That's horrible.
Yeah, there you go, Frozen, the revelations.
Getting the inside scoop.
Getting closer, I think.
There's also this really... I've had this discussion with some other Final Fantasy fans, and we both kind of felt the same way. The theme, the extreme, when you're fighting the final boss in Final Fantasy VIII, a lot of the music in Final Fantasy VIII did not feel very Final Fantasy. In a lot of ways, it didn't, like the battle theme didn't have certain, like, bass elements. And then when the extreme comes up, and it's just that chanting that they have normally when Ultimecia comes up. But then, like, a minute to a minute and a half in, they do that Final Fantasy bass line that you're familiar with, and it was almost like the game's like, okay, wait, yeah. It was almost like it became self-aware for a second. It was this weird moment.
Yeah, the weird thing with Final Fantasy is that, like, in my experience, like, going back and replaying them, this is topical, by the way, because you're fighting Sephiroth.
Yeah.
But, like, in my experience, I think, like, the 3D ones are pretty much all universally better than the 2D ones.
Oh yeah, you're mentioning this earlier today. I was kind of surprised to hear that, actually.
Like, in my experience, like, the 2D ones aged bad.
They do.
And, like, not just in, like, battle system ways, but, like, even the writing is just not as good as I remember it. Like, 6 is especially is, like 6 and I think 3 are the ones that, like, suffered the most. Or, wait, or is it 4? I think it's 4. But,
4
yeah.
sounds about, yeah.
Like, I had, like, in my mind, I had this, giant, like, epic, plot and stuff like that, but, like, there's, like, subtle little text in them, and most of it is just kind of, like, generic, let's go dialogue, and I don't know, and, like, you see a lot more ambition in the 3D games with 7, 8, and 9, even though I'm not really a big fan of, like, 7 or 8, for that matter, but, like, 9 and 10, I kind of respect.
10 is a cool game.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I like 10 still.
I didn't like 10 too much. But that was based off of my first impression of it. This coming from games that Final Fantasy has always been very linear, actually, but it had the appearance of being able to have a bit more choice. And 10 was this literal straight path thing, and that kind of turned me off in ways. I look back on 10 and I go, no, it wasn't that bad. And I like that. As far as when it comes to just standard combat, turn-based systems. 10 has the same thing that most other Final Fantasies do, but it streamlined it in a really, really, like, nifty way. It sped things up,
I like the turn system.
And probably has one of the best. Yes.
Yeah.
And I really like the subtle things where they were just I have a problem with turn-based games and they just go too slow. They bore me to tears after a while. But 10 had this really cool thing where if a character has an action, or when the character is performing an action, if you've input another one or another enemy can go that doesn't interrupt that action, they're gonna both go at roughly the same time, and it sped things up a lot. As far as like waiting for animations and all that stuff go.
In general, I actually really do like the setting of Spira in Final Fantasy X. It's like it and 9 are kind of like the most realized Final Fantasy settings within their own games in terms of like places that feel like, you know, people live in. They're like in 7, like 7 gets there, but kind of buries it under piles and piles of madness and insanity. Like,
yeah. That's true.
And 8 never really had a setting, honestly. So.
8's setting is like modern world, except kind of not, and it doesn't really know how much it is or isn't the modern world. It's pretty weird.
Yeah, I think 8 got a little too stuck in its love story to really focus on anything else.
Yeah.
I'm actually really interested in seeing the Final Fantasy VII remake. I'm honestly just curious. I mean, I love that game. I look back on it and I'm like, this game is kind of shit, but I mean, I loved it as a kid, and we look back on our experiences on something.
Yeah.
And so I'm honestly curious to see how they adapt it to modern times. Like, I don't know. I don't even care like what they change, what they take out. Like, some people are like, oh, they need to have this because it was in the original, and I'm like, why? Like, it was in that. If you want to play that, it's in the original game. Go play that. Like, this is a reimagining of it. To me, I call it a reboot entirely.
Yeah,
and
I think that's
how
for the
they
best
seem
to
to be
just like completely redo it, because FF7 has a lot of strange issues. Like, I actually replayed the first disc not too long ago, and the plot doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's like translated version or not, it's not well written, it's not well presented. It's hard to follow what's going on at any given point. And
yeah.
Like, one of the things in that game, I think nobody will ever realize without being told, is like, the Sephiroth you see throughout the game is not really Sephiroth. He's just pieces of Genova that look like Sephiroth. And, like, that completely changes the plot.
Shit, I forgot about that.
Yeah, like you literally follow Genova the whole game until the very end when you actually see the real guy.
And that's something I never realized without being told, because the game is just very bad at explaining it.
Yeah.
If you want like the most insane, like hard to read thing, try and look like a plot summary of Final Fantasy VII. The plot beats in that game and plot points of that game are just so wildly insane. I can only imagine it was conceived drunk. Like,
Yep.
But like even when I played it when I was younger, I was like, holy shit, this game airs. Like, feels sad. But like, going back on it, it's like, this game's kind of janky.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is true, Frozen. It is. Byakuas. I'll never forget that disc 1 line when they say Byakuas.
Like, Final Fantasy VII also has like weird, like, I guess it's kind of like stuff that you see of older like JRPGs and stuff like that, which like there's like a dating sim system in Final Fantasy VII. I never knew about it until like I was older.
You can go on a date with Barrett if you want.
You can.
Yes.
But it's like ridiculously elaborate with tons and tons of points and flags to get over the course of the game. And it's like, why the fuck is this here? It's literally one small little fan service scene that doesn't affect anything. But like it's like elaborate and there's tons of shit over it. But like, why? But it's fucking confusing.
Yo, Moogie, whenever you get hit once, I notice you get hit a lot. Like, this is specifically the second half, not the first half. If you get hit the first sword wave, dash away. It might help you out just to reset everything.
That's a good idea.
It's only the second half, really.
I try to do nothing but parries, and I kind of forget I have dash and can like actually do something else than just sit next to him.
Yeah, if you want to like follow my power when I beat this with the parry shield, you have to use the dash.
Yeah. Yeah, Edwin. I mean, like DT 2.0, D3 2.0 definitely needs like a dating sim aspect of it added later on, obviously.
You need to want to go on a date with Gary.
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
like
take
These together.
I'm gonna take
We're
a
gonna
break
do
for
it from the
a sec.
perspective of. Okay, we'll do
Okay.
it from the perspective of Jerry, and you can go on a date with basically anyone. What game isn't better with waifus? Exactly, Zero. Exactly.
This is where it becomes gacha.
Charge $1 for certain things here and there.
Yeah.
Nickel and dime 'em. Get 'em.
And don't tell Claire there's so much fan art of her online.
I won't.
Yeah, that would be
Never.
terrible. Just don't let her search Eve online.
Oh my God, Zero. You know the line at the end of the. You know the lines at the end of DT1. The ending. Oh my. Yeah. Well, you'll see. It's amazing. You'll get there.
I'll see, yeah.
You'll get there. It's gonna be amazing. You remember this specific moment in time.
Oh god. This sounds dank.
Yeah. What are you? You're West Coast?
East Coast.
East Coast. Okay. Remember 7:04 a.m. Just when you see
July
it.
15th. Okay, I see.
Yeah. Just remember that. Remember this. There's a thing. Cherry Alexander romance.
Yeah, I actually remember that death vote. That's a good death vote. How are you? Do you just like randomly think of things to like? Oh, I bet if I put this as a death vote, it'll piss off the player. Like, where do you come up with
The death quotes are
thing?
mostly me, and then a lot of during development, I ask people to say, "Hey, just give me whatever you want." Like all the DT1 players and anyone who played the demo of DT3 back in the day. I was like, "Hey, give me ideas on it."
I see.
I think the Claire won't lose her clothes thing one. I think that was Zero. Is that one yours? That's a Gate 5 specific one. Yeah, Zero got most of the Gate specific ones.
So, Zephyr, one thing we've noticed is that, like, on Nightmare mode, it's usually balanced so you die in exactly 4 hits, like, wherever you are in the game. Was that intentional at all?
No. That is,
Wow.
that is by chance. Actually, I did not. I did when I made Nightmare mode. That was a nice pop in volume there. Sorry. I did go back and I changed a couple enemies to give you an extra hit here and there. Yeah, there were a couple enemies that were nightmarified. As far as like rounding numbers properly and all that, that may have been a result of that.
Right.
And there weren't a lot of changes. There weren't a lot of them that needed that. Some of the HP counts were changed, so that way, like things like Lemons and Spazer could, since they're gonna always do 30 damage, they would kill things at a certain thing. If they were left with like 10 HP, I'd be like, well, they're gonna lose 10 HP. Especially with like Mega Man and Metroid enemies, they got a lot of those little treatments there.
Makes sense.
And then that actually ultimately helped the game out in a lot of ways. So.
Man,
Yeah,
Sephiroth is taking you to the woodshed.
It really
Yeah.
is. Got pretty close that time.
Oh, those are some good parries to the jump dash.
I just like watching all the little numbers pop up on above or under awesome. You just get so many of them.
Awesome grinding.
Awesome, yeah, that's what this is. So you know that there's the awesome points in DT1, Wafu. Have you seen that in the main menu?
I have not, actually. I don't think
So
I
you-
would.
Okay, you get awesome basically for most of the things you would in this game. You're not quite as much as the one as in this game. It's mostly for things like kill chains, stuff like that. But your awesome points, while they don't cap at 100,000, the bonus caps at 100,000. So they actually give you EXP multipliers.
Also, I keep every time I level up, I keep looking for skill points when I go into the inventory, and they're not there, and it's
Nope, just stat increases.
it's kind of like the whole magic thing in DT1 is kind of mind gaming me, where there's like another defense and stuff like that, and I have no idea where I'm supposed to put skill points, so I'm just kind of putting them in places. I'm sure very adventurous places.
Yeah, that's fine. There's just like this game. There's enough to get everything.
That's supposed to like, I'm not sure if I should be getting like the fire infusions or the fire like, you know, spells or basically all the categories of magic. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to like focus one or care about one over the other or anything like
No,
that.
that's mostly just how you want to play throughout the game. Those can be helpful if you're using those a lot. The ones I personally that I go for, there's two. I go to get cripple up, the cripple timing up first, and then MP regeneration, which is
I'm getting the first thing I went for is dash and vulnerability time up.
that makes sense.
That was the first thing I saw. I was like, nah, no.
Yeah, that's important-ish. DT1 has so many other defensive options though that dashing isn't like always necessary, and your dashing recovers much faster.
Oh, don't worry, I will forget about all of them. And there we go. Me and dashing, it's just the dash is too addicting to use.
Yeah, I mean it became basically the only like major defensive option other than double jump in DT3. So yeah, DT1 has a lot more options.
Also, I had to turn off up his dash because that was driving me crazy. And
apparently, Raukal played the entirety of DT3 like that.
He did.
I don't understand. It's so AIDS. Like it's just so AIDS.
Yeah, back in the day, it was the only control scheme, and then once I did controller support, and then I put some of those other like dash buttons back into the other games, those little things got added.
People who use that are crazy. It's just insane. Insanity.
It's one of the reasons the biggest issue I had with the first two was the controls, actually. I was kind of surprised that DT3 had like good controls when I played it.
Yeah, that was a big thing when I started DT3 was let's make this better. I never had any intention to actually go back and fix the controls of the first two, but they did get a little bit of a treatment there.
I believe in you, Boogie.
Thank you, Wafu.
I do too.
Who fucking knew this would be a Sephiroth stream?
I know, right? I wasn't expecting it to take this long, but when you have this little health, he just destroys me, basically. This little health, no parry shield, not a good combination.
No.
Fortunately, Sephiroth himself doesn't have that much HP either. So, if we can get a good
No,
run
he
at
doesn't.
some point, he should go down pretty easy.
You can survive the all-you-can-eat spaghetti buffet. Nice, Sephi. How much HP do you have? I have a spreadsheet with everything.
This isn't terrible amounts of spaghetti. I consider spaghetti when you botch something easy.
Yeah.
And like this is at least somewhat rough. Like if he died for like 20 hours on Connect, that would be pretty spaghetti.
Yeah. Let's see. 24,500.
Oh wow, okay.
It's a lot,
Or
but
you-
it's not.
It's a lot, but parries basically. Oh, the double parry.
Yeah, I've been trying to go for double hits. It's not that hard to do on him, but I'm not sure if it's actually a good idea because it kind of messes with his AI as well.
You push him into like the next phase faster, so you end up with the next hit. It's cranking that death count.
Yeah, death count is going way up on this guy.
We're in the low 1600s at the start.
This is the power of Force Game Over.
It really is.
This is pretty much exactly what my goal times look like, almost like entirely. So Like when I was doing the gold times on this guy. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
parry, oh, fucked up the first one, game over.
I imagine so. We have a long way to go there, Sacred Geo. If that's the case.
Not with esports game over.
Yeah, not like that. Jeez.
Shit.
Oh my god, it's so good look. Fuck. Fuck.
Yeah, it looks so good, and then just it all goes to spaghetti.
Oh, pray to Takashi.
Right here, we're gonna get spoiled though. Like when it happens.
Yeah, we're getting the live feed. This Sephiroth just getting really mad that you said that you didn't like Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
It's like, tell me my game sucks.
That's really what this is. He can hear through the world. And he knows that we're making fun of him
Even
earlier.
though technically this is Kingdom Hearts Sephiroth.
1,219 deaths was my final death count on Nightmare. Shut up, Zero. Just no.
I have nothing to say to that.
Okay, Zero is like a million hours in this game from testing and like shit. I don't know if he counts.
Yeah, we don't ever really count ourselves. That's why I told him. I was like, shut up. You're a shitlord, Zero.
Dude, that's
You're
harsh.
fucking like machine at this game.
I'm a machine. You can't even switch to Jerry on War Master.
We're gonna use the chainsaws to start for some extra damage. Seems
Give
to
each
help
other
a bit.
It,
More
yes,
of a typewriter than a keyboard. That's an interesting analogy.
it's a really interesting analogy. Nice. He did lost property. Actually, he did gold time that.
It's not that hard of a goal time, honestly. The problem
Yeah.
is beating him.
Yep.
If I beat him again, I'm pretty sure I'll get it. If he doesn't gold fuck or like gold or orange fuck me again.
I think you'll be fine as long as you manage your ammo in the first half. Yes, he did lost property. He did. And you're gonna hear a time traveling yes.
That's not orange is actually the best way to get damage on Wax, but the problem is that if he keeps going orange, you and he's in like phase 2, phase 2 resistances, I should say, then you're just kind of fucked. I mean,
There's an interesting thing there. When he goes back to main form, that's when he's essentially started a new cycle. Like no matter what he decides to do, he always has to do all 4 forms first before he can repeat them. And this is just so they don't get, so some form doesn't get deprived. I think I mentioned this. I don't know if I mentioned this before. Yeah.
get him.
Sephiroth, oh Sephiroth. Oh no, I believe. I know you'll get him. I'm
Yeah.
just wondering when.
Friggin' golden bow.
Almost. We're so
Oh,
close.
no. I'm about to be sad, aren't I?
Yeah, you are.
Oh!
Oh wow, 2 more parries. Gotta love watching that health spike down the first 25% there with those
Yeah.
chainsaws.
So I'm curious, Zephyr. Does when War Master like switches a form, does he like set what forms he will do for the entirety whenever he decides his first change? Because I've been wondering, because when I was gold timing him, I always tried to set him on blue, orange, green, and blue, orange, green, red, and then like have him just stay red for the rest of it. But like, I never ever got a differentiation on the green. That never changed ever. Like sometimes he went orange or blue at the start, like interchangeably. I think that's just kind of an error on my part, but like he never ever changed on green. That never changed.
Yes, so when he changes back to main form, he always chooses the full cycle until the next main form thing. So he always chooses his next 3 after that. But that decision, the first time the decision is made, isn't until he changes the first time. Because he always starts main form. So the very first change, he'll decide the next 2 after that. Yeah, but he does make decisions in advance, based on certain things, and he doesn't make it right at the start because there would be no decision making to do at the start. So that's why he waits. And War Master himself also works the same way. Like the logic does not change at all as far as that goes. The only difference is that War Master has the Hyper Mode thing, which Wex is in at all times, and then War Master proper has 2 different things. Like actual War Master at the very start, he won't ever change at all if you don't do any damage to him. Like he'll stay in main form forever if you don't do anything.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And that's with any form change. As soon as he changes form, if you don't do any damage to him, he won't change out of that. Because he's like, why change it when you're not doing any damage to me?
I see. So is there it's like a certain damage breakpoint that will like make him change?
Yes. There's 2 things. After you've done enough damage to him, or after you've hit him a certain amount of times, this is only for the first 70% on War Master only. He'll then start an invisible timer, and then there's 2 things: either you do enough damage, or when that timer has elapsed,
Okay,
he'll
that makes
change.
sense.
But you have to go damage for that timer to start.
That's
Yes.
consistent with my experience, anyway.
Okay, yeah. And every time you hit him, the little invisible timer that increments up, that also spikes just a little bit every time you damage him. And that's just so if you damage a bunch and you get to that, and you're certain thresholds away, he'll do it. Oh,
How close
so
is I?
close.
I'm not looking at the bar.
You were at like 5% or
Oh
something.
damn.
yeah, it was like a 5-10% there. You were about 2 parries away. Probably better to not look at the health bar.
Yeah.
Place your bets for sub 2K. Yeah, I mean, he's not gonna have 200 more deaths on this guy. He'll get it before then.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like,
hopefully.
he's getting a lot closer every time now. I mean, there's those mishaps, but the general pattern is closer every time. How about that? Yeah. It's like the difference between weather and climate. There we go. We'll get into that. There is a climate change here, gearing towards lower health. I'll go look real quick, Zero. they're set like right at the start, I believe, so it's easy to find them.
Oh my god, those were sick.
They were, but I wasn't sick enough, unfortunately. I thought I got hit there and paused, but I didn't.
That sucks. Unfortunate.
That's so weird, so I can still see. Slicks, I just looked over at your message on the other stream. Oh, it just closed. There's no such thing as a boss in Final Fantasy V having too much HP. Like, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2. Like, every boss in that game had, I felt, a lot of times too little HP. Specifically the later game, anyway. Like, you just, like, playing that game normally, you just melt through everything. Like, second half.
Oh, so Zephyr. So, we were actually talking about this in the other stream, where I randomly decided to like shit talk Chrono Trigger to everybody's amusement. Apparently,
Nice.
I was going to ask, since me and Mugi had this thought, where like he said that he thought Lugia 2 was the best SNES RPG, and respectful choice, I think. But I said Super Mario RPG. And what would you say, do you think is your favorite SNES RPG? What's your favorite?
That's hard. I honestly don't know.
Oh, come on.
I mean, like, I've really enjoyed 6 back in the day, but we just had this discussion about rose-tinted glasses. It's the Final Fantasy I'd want to see the most, like, done rebooted. Man, that's hard to say. I mean, I too also liked Mario RPG, but then there's, what was it? It wouldn't be Chrono Trigger, it's close. I mean, I really love Chrono Trigger despite things. Does it have to be turn-based?
No.
It does not. It does not.
Okay. I have really, really fond memories of Secret of Mana, like the original.
So, when was the last time you played Secret of Mana then? Because that is a buggy game.
Oh no, it's really buggy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, it's super buggy. But like, I have really fond memories of just, like, if you know the bugs, you know how to not trigger those bugs too.
That's true.
Like, overall, like, I just enjoy the thing. I don't really enjoy the spell grinding too much.
Oh yeah.
Like, you pretty much have to spell grind at a certain point if you, well, you don't have to, but you feel compelled to, that's for sure. Just sitting in the palaces, use heal spell over and over again,
Yeah.
touch the gem, or touch the seed, do that, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I don't know, but like, the general gameplay always felt really fun to me. I mean, they fixed up a lot of the things with the second one, or I guess the third one technically, in Japan's terms. Which never actually, did that ever officially come here?
No, it did not.
No, okay. Yeah,
There was
so
a fan translation way back in the day, but that was it.
yeah. I mean, Earthbound is in my top 5, but I can't really use that one because I don't like it as an RPG. I like it for other reasons.
Yeah, I
So when it comes to like,
I understand that sentiment with Earthbound for sure.
yeah. So I'd say like either Secret of Mana or Chrono Trigger. There's a lot of really fond memories of those games despite their bugs. And Chrono Trigger has really weird bugs too. Like things just not working.
I know there's like a bug if you emulate it, but is there actually bugs if you Really? Huh? I actually don't remember.
It feels like damage values are off. It feels like the damage calculations aren't right. Almost like the way that Final Fantasy VI did a lot of things where their damage calculations were just fucktarded.
The evade stat doesn't even work at all in 6.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and how like the blind stat just doesn't do anything. I see. To me, that bug actually helped the game out, though. I cannot stand misses, and I cannot stand RNG misses at all. It pisses me off because like I don't know. I actually don't really like crits either. To a certain extent. Like I don't like Fire Emblem crits. Fire Emblem crits are trash. Like 3x damage is stupid. Like that just completely arcs the fight in such a way that is just dumb.
3x is like that's a lot of fucking. That's massive.
Yeah, it's too much. To be fair, the crits are generally in your favor. Like most of the time, you're the one to crit. But even then, I don't like it though, because then like it just takes some of the fun out of the game. Really, like every time I get crits, I just go like I'm aiming for crits. There's certain archers that just have a massive crit chance with like killer style weapons, and I'm just like aiming for those crits. But every time I get a crit, I just kind of sigh. And I was like. And this is mostly with the GameCube and Wii one. The Wii one, which I actually won't mention, so the game is absolute fucking trash. We'll have entire squadrons of enemies spawn on your allies. Fuck formations. Like, what are they thinking? Yeah, I have a lot of problems with Fire Emblem when it comes to crits and a lot of other gameplay things. Anyway, yeah, crits. To me, crits should be like 1.5 damage, I think, if you're gonna do crits. They shouldn't arc game.
Yeah, 1.5
like,
is good.
It's not a lot, but it's enough to be like that's something to be happy about, but not something that's gonna arc gameplay in such a drastic way, especially when it's RNG.
Yeah.
It like crits. The big thing about critting as a game mechanic in most games is that it should just feel satisfying to happen, but like it should feel good to get it. But like 3 times basically just basically is. Oh god, that's just destruction. Like
yeah, it is.
It's way too much.
Wow. How did I die there?
I'll let you know.
You'll see in a moment. I mean, Fire Emblem has this nifty thing, whereas if you know the technical things of the game, like it's. Oh, so you didn't see it, but he teleported on top of you. The frame was weird. Yeah, never touch the sides, because if he can teleport, which he did, he will always teleport to the sides.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I've never seen that happen before. That was interesting.
Yeah, it's just because like it's a frame thing. It's a weird draw frame thing there that happened. But yeah, like normally if you would have gotten hit, you would have seen it. The scan did even like I think mentions it too. Like I think Chow mentioned something about it. Like don't go to the sides because he will teleport right on you if he does teleport. And that's just and the reason that has to do is a lot of things in DT has problems with this at times is that corners of bosses is like this thing of just hide in corners. You can do things where you can just you put a wall at your back and you can get a little more safe. And so there's a lot of things where I keep players from sides. This is the reason why War Master's super flame move, why he just covers the sides. Like that's not an obstacle. That is just straight up don't touch the sides. That's all that is. There's a lot of things you'll notice where I keep players from going to the sides. And that just has to do with the way the game is designed. That's a way to fight back at that. I think in some ways that's kind of a band-aid fix. It doesn't fix the true problem there, but it's what it is at this point.
Fuck. King Mech.
Oh yeah, yeah. When you get the King Mech, yeah, definitely go behind him.
By the way, Zephyr, one weird thing I found is the Mario level having this like random big like villain dark dude at the end instead of like a traditional like Mario villain that I was actually expecting traditional Mario villain. I was like, oh, it's like Bowser. Am I gonna like have to fight Yoshi or something? No.
Oh yeah. DT1 doesn't like really follow any sort of like things there. And interestingly, I had like like that was like a really minor complaint that some people had. They when they were playing DT3, it was like they'd go to an area and they'd be like, oh, okay, I kind of knew that boss was gonna show up because that's what that area was, and they like the sudden like, oh, I'm fighting this now in DT1. They like the more surprise that DT1 did with things. And I was like, that's a fair complaint, but I don't know. Like the
I
main
really
world,
like the namesake value of like the bosses and stuff like that. It's cool to see. I don't know. I might be a nerd.
No, I prefer the namesake thing too. I mean, like DT1's overworld has DT3's overworld sections, they're non-gate areas. In a lot of ways has that sort of like, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna fight next thing anyway.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Oh, that's why I can't find that in the code for DT1. Okay, 0. Wow. Okay, I lied on a certain thing, 0. I forgot I had said it like this. Nightmare mode gives you, this is fun, it gives you half of a skill point in dash recovery.
Half of the skill.
It gives you half of a skill point's worth of dash recovery.
What? So... Huh.
That's the bonus. So like to put in like the actual real numbers there, let's say this is what the numbers are, but this is just arbitrary numbers for us. The dash recover is 24, right? And every skill point you put in gives you an extra 2 onto that every frame, right? The nightmare mode is just 25. It's just literally just an extra. It's a half a point. It's really strange.
Why did you decide to do it that way?
I don't know. Oh, like why Nightmare Mode does that?
Yeah.
I wanted to give some bonuses for Nightmare Mode.
Yeah.
But I don't know why I only gave half a point there. It's really weird. I don't know why I gave a full point. I can always change that. I mean, do you guys... Well, I think I just updated too. Let's see. Nightmare Mode, it gives a full point in Jerry's bomb recovery, the Link bomb recovery. It gives 2 points of the damage flinch.
Oh, okay.
Huh.
Half a point in dash recovery. Do you guys want me to change that to just a full point?
Yeah,
I can
might
do
as
it when
well.
It feels very strange.
Yeah, it does.
That's weird. Okay, I mean, you probably will not feel that one thing. We're talking... To put it on in terms, like the dash meter has, I guess we'll say it has 10,000, like I guess points attached to it, right? And every 2,000 is a single point, and that value there is how much you gain per frame. Is all it is. That's just the metric to use there. So you're not gonna really feel that, but whatever. So we'll do that. So next update, whenever that is, I just released an update tonight. There's just a couple things. It's really small things. If you're using the in-game, the biggest thing probably is if you're using the in-game gamepad support, you can now set the dead zone.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, yeah.
It was locked at 40%. That's the default. You can now change it between 20 and 80%. And there's reasons you don't want to go outside of that range. It is insane if anybody were to go outside of that range. So if in the future I have an update, you'll see that you'll have that one point there. That's really strange that it's like that. It's the only changes I'm seeing, but there's got to be something else. There's another change hidden somewhere in there. Let's see. Like it's not all in one spot. It's really strange. Here we go. Ah, okay, because it's sometimes some of it's done on point. What is this? Oh, okay. Jerry's Buster acts a little differently. It would normally take without any update, without any like thingies, it would normally take about 2 seconds to. Well, wait. Max charge. No. Secret changes there's a bird somewhere. There is another bird somewhere. There's actually quite a few birds in one map added. Let's see.
Even the unbeatable bird.
Yeah, he's just there. He's been there for about 3 updates now.
Oh yeah.
I want to find him.
Yeah, me too.
There's an NPC that appears in chapter after you start chapter 20. There's an NPC that mentions him. There's a thing somewhere that's different.
Really?
That just kind of happened. So okay, so in about 1/3 seconds or 1.3 seconds, it takes for Jerry to charge his Buster. That's really strange. I'm not seeing this right.
Live debugging of DT3.
Yes.
I fucking hate the Buster code. Oh no, okay, I see, it makes sense now. Now I'm looking at it right. I was like, what is going on? I'm looking at, there's 2 values here, that's right. I forget this other value is a failsafe for things. Okay. Yeah, it's 1.3 seconds to fully charge. And I have to see what it looks like here. Why is there this huge, like, 35 lines of code commented out of just stuff, and it's commented with bullshit. Oh, I know what that is.
Oh
Okay,
god.
that's hilarious. Oh,
Oh shit. This is fancy. Oh, got wall fucked.
Yeah. I'm doing weird stuff though that I'm not really sure what I'm trying to accomplish with.
He doesn't have any buffs. He has no buffs with the Buster as far as like charge times or anything like that. He's straight up vanilla charge times, and then with just that extra layer, which you have to wait 25 more frames. So almost an entire extra second to get that. Wow. Okay. Humorously, that level 4 charge was originally going to be in the game.
Oh?
It just was moved. I was like, no, 3 charges. It was going to be a bonus when you unlock the special charges. You were also going to get that on top of it.
Oh,
That would make sense.
I didn't like it, so I took it out.
Everyone's gonna use the energy gem anyway.
Yeah.
That was actually before energy, but yes. Tell them the bullshit story. Bullshit is just I released a weird version where if you use the X-Buster, it would launch every single projectile that you have in the game, including Samus stuff. This is just tester only. I like how that code is still there. It's just all commented out under bullshit.
Did it actually take ammo from all of your things too? Like, would you go down 1 arrow and like 1 hard energy and stuff like that?
No, it was just infinite, and you just launch stuff everywhere. It was glorious. Absolutely glorious. Let's see here. What is the okay, dagger. The dagger thing, you get 1 point on the dagger reduction thing. You get 1 point in holy water as well. No other changes there, it looks like. Okay, that's it. Yeah, that's all you get. Not a lot, actually.
Nightmare, you still suck as Nightmare.
Yeah.
As we're seeing.
Yeah.
Not even we don't even get an extra heart piece.
Yeah.
No heart pieces given to you. There should be like 4 heart pieces around the world that you can't get. They're just in these weird corners.
That's actually an idea I had.
Oh, that'd be funny. Make them like cheese hearts.
The X headpiece, the one that decreases the X specials by 50%. What was? Oh, was that the thing where you broke it, Zero?
Zero seems to break a lot of things.
I don't remember exactly how that one went. I remember you doing something though. Let's see. The Belmont set, you get the recovery on that is his 2/3 of a skill point.
Huh?
For the Belmont recovery, that can just change to a full recovery.
What?
It's so weird. Just add an extra thing there.
Dev U is a strange person.
Oh my god, I remember that. I remember butt shit now. It just had to do with a really weird variable name. Like the game, it was detecting something weird. I think it was a variable name conflict, but GameMaker before Studio had really terrible tools for detecting this stuff, for checking it. The headpiece, the hex headpiece just refused to work because it didn't like a variable name. So I was like, well, I'm just gonna rename all the variables associated with the headpiece to butt shit. That is just what it's gonna be. I'll just rename it to butt shit. It's just to check something that's going on here. And it worked. And I was like, well, okay, well obviously there is something involved. One of these calls are obviously there's a logic error there. There was a thing where one of the variables were just typoed wrong or something, or there was a naming conflict somewhere. But yeah, there was I just changed the name to the variable name to butt shit, and that is what it governs the headpiece's butt shit now.
Dude, Noogie, that was so close.
Yeah,
I'm so sad. I believe.
Thank
I
you.
still believe. Even now. But this is literally a Sephiroth only stream at this point.
Yeah, pretty much.
It really is.
Oh, Sephiroth and Nightmare. 10 minutes of Nightmare. An hour and 30 of Sephiroth.
Yep. A T butt shit is there.
Oh,
T is
shit.
just temporary variable.
Yeah!
Names.
Wait.
You got it.
Zephyr was
Like they
right.
do.
I did not hit 2,000.
Bam!
Zephyr,
Oh shit.
what the fuck happened?
Oh shit.
I beat him, but I'm still stuck in the arena.
What just happened?
Oh, no. Oh, Sephiroth died outside the arena. Part of his
No,
fight
no.
was outside it, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't that.
So should I reload my save and see?
I think so. So, oh, I know what happened. This is amazing. This is amazing. The camera did not reset. The boss fight ended, but the camera did not reset for whatever reason.
Wow.
Wait.
Zero,
How?
did this happen to you on? I don't know. Let me look at the code. I got it all open. This is amazing. Like it'll fix itself when you reload.
Okay. Thank God.
Yeah, that's what's amazing.
Zephyr's like, yeah, we got a bug on stream.
Yeah, on-stream bugs are the best.
So
Let's wait a minute. That would be with the Nightmare Gate code.
let me comment on that just a little bit. So it seems like I was actually finding that more consistent to like lure him into the teleport animation because he only does one or two slashes into that, and they're a lot easier to dodge in the position where he has the sword behind him and swings it in front of him. That one was really gaming me, I'm gonna say. So like if anybody's having trouble with this fight, do what I did there and like bait him into the teleport because he'll do stuff that's a lot more consistent to dodge, I find, at least. Alright, so go
You
ahead,
got
Zephyr.
to have fun with the dash that time too.
Yeah. So go ahead, Zephyr.
Oh no, you get that was it.
Okay.
No, the code says to return the camera to Jerry. What? So, let's do this. Okay, this will make sure it returns to Jerry or Claire, or the player.
Right.
That's so weird that the camera didn't reset.
Well, I mean, hey, that's not
Double kill.
That was cool. You got to
Not
see
even
live Moogie strats, and he actually the fun thing is that we were theorizing about this. We're like, oh, you're just gonna do the gold time strat, just parry him over and over again. And you just did something new that you never did before.
Yeah, I basically I decided that the gold strat is not consistent enough when you have this low DPS, because eventually he's gonna get you like into a combo of his own. So I figured, maybe I can avoid the attack that's giving you the most trouble. And yeah, that's what I ended up doing. So yeah, that was a pretty interesting fight. I think we're gonna do tower defense and then call it a night if you guys are okay with that.
Sure. At least, yeah. The story ones aren't too bad.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. I can see it's not even a Nightmare mode exclusive thing either. You can totally trigger this. It's not one. It's weird. I can see how this would trigger. That's so strange.
How did it happen?
Okay. This is really hard to explain it. Let's see. Let's see, VFix, camera, blah blah blah. I guess this was. I don't even know. Because it's telling it to go back to player, but like according to this, it should do this. This is how it should behave, like basically every time.
Huh.
Like now that I look at it, like I see why it was not returning the camera now, and it should behave like that every time, but it wasn't because I've fought him since that change. It's really strange.
Killing spree.
Kind of want to release it just to fix that, but it's not the worst thing.
Meta kill.
So are there any changes to the tower defense on Nightmare?
Monster kill.
None. Just I guess just if you're going to assist with them, your character's gonna do less damage.
Right.
I guess tower defense doesn't really have any change.
Man, you get very little money on this first one.
Extermination. Double kill.
Let's do some 15 damage lemons on him just for good measure. You know?
There you go.
Get it to him.
Monster kill. Ludicrous.
Well, an update might come out sooner than before, so you might get some of those Nightmare, just the slight buffs there. Maybe. Yeah, so there we go.
You have any other ideas for Nightmare, or just like, are you just like kind of making those minor tweaks or what?
Eradication.
Those are just those minor tweaks right now. I know the big thing was changing Jerry's gun to like just hold charges. I kind of like that idea.
Yeah, I got the idea from X4 where one of the Buster upgrades does that. I thought it would work pretty well in DT3 as well.
Yeah.
It's
It's something like being able to hold 3 charges.
Yeah.
Like you just when you charge it, it stores it and then it restarts the thing, and then you just keep going with it.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
There was one thought that Mugi had actually that I kind of liked, which is to give a nightmare only cursed trial reward, because the item fighter does nothing for you except gets you cheese. So like Mugi's idea was to if you do the curse trials as you know in your nightmare and your nightmare DPS, that you could maybe have your pick of one of the items from normal mode, or something like that. Yeah, you could decide to choose do I want 10% damage? Do I want the energy gem, etc., etc. I think it'd be kind of cool. It'd give a little bit more purpose to actually being able to do the curse challenges on this mode. I would say without the 10% or the damage items. Yeah, the damage.
Yeah, since that's too obvious of a choice. Yeah.
True. Yeah, so remove the damage and defensive. No defensive items either. Just pick from the ones that affect your weapons.
Silencer.
Use the cursed armor anywhere.
Or the heart bracelet, that'd be that might have some use. Yeah,
it really
pretty nifty.
There's also we could also replace the plot armor with something, because the plot armor sure is useless.
The plot armor is only vaguely useful in the normal game, and now it's extra mega meme status in Nightmare. Also, your base is getting all sorts of fucked up.
I didn't notice there was another spawn, and I kind of let it get the better of me.
You got some stability left. You should be fine as long as you don't let any of the big tanks through, which they will one-shot you at this point.
Yeah.
You used to be able to increase stability.
Oh yeah.
There were base upgrades you could do, and you used to be able to increase the stability maximum, but that got broken as shit.
Okay. I bet. I mean, like you could pretty much just like tank your way through all the phases like at that point, I guess.
Yeah, there's a certain point Zero showed it actually. I think that was Zero that did that. It did. They showed you could easily get to the boss phase and just spam that at the end of phase 9, and then you wouldn't have to try anymore.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, let's take that out. Yeah, it's true. The initial release of the cursed armor, you could use it anywhere,
Oh yeah.
and Zero broke the
Oh,
shit out of
God.
the game with that.
Oh god,
That
yeah.
would have been ridiculous. Like
Yeah,
absolutely ridiculous.
I'd have just suffocated War Master. Like just poor guy wouldn't have the cursed armor wouldn't have a chance, dude.
Yeah, imagine
Like-
the gold times if you could do that.
That would be so boring.
Yeah,
Because
it really
it would just be the only item you use.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as like this, boring in the sense of which item do I use.
Yeah.
So
Because like even if you took twice the damage, it would obviously be much better than anything else.
Even in like execution wise, it wouldn't be very exciting. You just mutilate the bosses in like insane amounts. So
yeah. We almost had an achievement. I got it from multiple testers to have an achievement where, for tower defense, for winning without assisting them at all with Jerry and Claire, like using only towers. I thought about it, and I was,
Is that like possible?
yes, it is. You can actually beat any of them without assisting.
Oh wow.
even Bubble Bobble?
I believe even Bubble Bobble. I think Zero were you the crazy one that did that tested Bubble Bobble to make sure that was workable?
Zero, you're a
Someone-
soldier if you actually.
Someone did it. It was either Zero or Anomaly or what was his name? Amatsu. You guys don't know him. He did a bit of DT1 stuff. He comes and goes. It was one of those three.
Double kill.
Yeah, like for Bubble Bobble at the end, I just spammed Buster shots with Energy Gem and Diffusion Missiles with Railgun. I don't think I would have been able to beat it without those two items, to be quite honest. It's very tight at the end.
It is.
Yeah, the way I ended up doing that was actually I went like down the exact middle center of the map and put down 20 megas, like alternating left and right, and that ended up more or less doing the job.
It works.
I'm not really sure what the optimal strat is because, you know, I'm not gonna bother figuring that out if
Yeah.
the strat works.
The reason that happens, Zero, in the thing you mentioned there, is just due to slight variances in where you put the turrets. The slightest variance can change the outcome. Yeah, Zero did a lot of testing on this. He had a lot of write-ups about tower defense.
Slaughter.
The tower defense does actually feel pretty polished, like in comparison to the shoot 'em up or something. So I don't know if that's just because Zero went crazy on it or what.
It might be. I know he had a lot to say about it.
Eradication.
And just a lot of little tweaks here and there, like as far as how much resources do you get back from things, stuff like that.
Oh shit, that's a lot of stuff. We're good.
Yeah, the first tower defense is really easy because the enemies have so little HP.
I have to agree with Slakes on something when it came to at least tower defense in the sense of DT, is that aside from some of the optional ones, when you find the winning strategy on this, you don't do anything.
Yeah.
You become uninvolved with it, and he felt like there should have been more involved with the player. Like, you put down the towers, but then I was afraid to do that because it would be overwhelming. Because it's already overwhelming the first time you play it. I mean, I'm sure you guys remember your first time trying that, and it was just like this. Oh God, what am I doing?
I think that like, for like the last option one, it would be cool if you had to like actually fight something with Jerry and Claire while the rest was going on. Because the last one is like strangely easy, in my opinion. That would have been a good way to like kind of bump it up a bit, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and then there's also what was it? Oh no, that was it. Yeah, I thought about adding a boss fight for the update.
I would have liked that personally. I think it would have been like kind of interesting because, as you said, Jerry and Claire pretty much don't do anything once you figure out the ideal like strategies here.
Double kill.
Yep. Though they can buff the turret fire rate, which is kind of useful.
Ultra kill. Monster kill. The Chris kill.
I'm not actually sure how much it increases it by. It does
something like it's about 20% or 20 to 30% like fire rate.
God, Moogie, so inefficient. You can put Claire next to the other ground one.
Yeah, I know. I can put. Okay, Waffle. God damn it! Just for you, I'm gonna bring Claire over here, and she can.
My min maxing is it's killing me.
Yeah, 0 is the reason there is the hold down to D2X mode. Which, that does absolutely nothing on the actual 2X. Because it locks in at 60 frames, it will not go higher.
Anything at the bottom escape? No, looks like you're good. This is getting dicey. Dicey in quotes.
Yeah, this isn't too bad at all, really. I never really used the floats much on my initial playthrough, so I'm kind of seeing how they work here. They're actually pretty good since their bullets fly like through walls.
Yes. They're inefficient damage-wise, but because they can follow things as far as like through vertical layers, yeah. Yeah, there's that, Jamers. I think even 0 had a thought about that at one point, or at least like said about maybe having something that aims at the player.
Oh yeah, that might be interesting, like actually having to dodge around.
Unstoppable.
I did have an internal one that none of the testers even saw it, of where a lot of these guys would have weapons. Some like the trucks had artillery. The flying ones just had it. It got spammy really fast.
I know. There's so much of it spawns, is the thing.
Yeah, it was insanity.
Like, if you want to hear Unreal Guy, this is the place to go.
Killing spree.
Yeah, portals that spawn the cannon fodder.
Dominating.
How high does Unreal Guy go up to anyway? Like, what's the upper limit?
I think 7.
That Headhunter? Or
that is 100 kills without getting damaged.
that's pretty impressive.
Or Headhunter is kill streaks. I think that one's 10. I know it skips a few. It does something like 7, 8, and 10 or something, I think. But as far as like the killing spree thing, as long as killing spree is the number of enemies without taking damage. I think that one's upper limit is 100.
You know, until you mentioned the whole thing with the money drops the other day, I had no idea that the combo actually had like some mechanical purpose in the game. I always thought it was just for fun.
Yeah, and it's just the kill streaks though, or not the kill streaks. It is just the killing sprees. The kill streaks do the combo themselves aren't anything.
Right.
The kill streaks though do give you slightly higher drop rates. So, like it does not affect it by a lot though.
Moogie, try not to like hit and mob again. You're like one hit for death.
I noticed that. The thing about the tower defense is that you're not really paying attention to your own HP. Or at least I find that I'm not, so yeah. Bad things can happen if you're absent-minded like I am.
Yeah. So one of the big things with this, so you have your 20 turret limit. It's generally always more beneficial, like cost-wise, to put a new turret down than it is to upgrade. So you want to, most efficient is to put down all 20 turrets and then start upgrading. One of the really good things here is to put a shock at the top of that little swirly bit there, and then use floats and or megas, especially megas because they can hit multiple targets at a time with the splash. That is one thing that megas do really well, is when you level them up, that splash gets bigger.
So leveling up does not just like increase the fire rate and damage, but actually does kind of separate effects as well.
Yeah, for some of them do. For megas, it's it's higher splash, and then the shock turrets, it's obviously bigger thing, but it's also slow down for a little bit longer.
Right.
The other ones don't have any other changes. They're just boring damage upgrades. So, yeah, because they didn't have any other functionality. So. In hindsight, I would actually have upgrade. You did? Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh man.
Thank you for warning me, Wafu, but it was in vain.
It's too late. Oh. Oh god, you're starting with half health. That's the other reason, because you.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Could have just ate a cookie, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna go restore my HP. Okay, this time we'll try not to die and to damage on tower defense.
Yeah, that warning was actually LP's. I just recycled it.
Thank you, LP, but it was in vain.
And I think it'd be hilarious. that actually, John's line would make me laugh because imagine just War Master leading these guys.
Oh yeah,
oh,
like
man.
you have to fight War Master while doing all this.
I'm tempted to put that little hidden thing somewhere. Or at least test it out anyway on my own, and if it works-ish, hide it in the game somewhere.
Monster kill. Ludicrous kill record. Silencer.
Yeah, like in hindsight, I would not have leveling up turrets or upgrading turrets be just damage boost. It would be utility boosts instead. And the reason for that is so, as the designer, I know the exact damage output at any given time that the player has, as far as like raw damage output, minus utilities. That helps me out. And then it's just more interesting to level up a turret to rank up and get a new feature rather than just a boring damage boost. Like maybe the ground turrets have an option to, like if you level them up, you can turn them around at will or something like that instead of them being straight. Something like that. Or maybe they auto target if they no longer have a target in front of them, they can auto turn around or something like that. Yeah, just more utility style things instead.
Killing spree.
Oh man.
Dominating.
Please do not lose stability on wave 2 of.
We're good. We're
story.
good. Alright, I should get Claire over here.
Monster kill. Ludicrous kill. Bloodbath.
Oh, those megas.
Oh yeah.
That made me giggle so much when Raocow was just like mega mega mega. I'm like,
They are
that's
very
gonna
fun.
work for you. They are interesting. Yeah, they're nice to use. And then it worked. That was the best thing, is that it worked. I love that it worked. I was like, I don't know if this is gonna work out for Raocow, and then it did. And I'm like, of course it worked.
Yeah, the megas, like, if you were gonna rebalance this, could actually be toned down somewhat because they do so
They're
much.
pretty busted.
Yeah, they do so much damage in such a huge radius that you can actually kind of brute force your way through a lot of maps with them.
Yeah.
I do like it when like the rocket goes after something and it dies and it just kind of gets lost and sad for a while.
Homing mechanics when they lose targets are always hilarious.
Just the saddest rocket.
The saddest of rockets.
Double kill.
Those 6 sword slashes.
That was pretty nice. Cherry Mech Tower for 5k win. Even Jeremy, but yeah.
Everybody gets it confused. Everybody. It's just.
Yep, that's what I deal with every single day.
Did you have to have friends with 2 extremely similar names? Like,
happened to be a thing.
Double kill.
Yeah,
It's
like,
easy right now. Like, Jeremy's at Madagascar right now, so it's like super easy. So
yeah, like when I was watching Roundkill's LV, I constantly got Jerry and Jeremy confused just because the names are so similar.
yep. There was a bit of like, haha, yeah,
Eradication.
or now they get to feel what I feel. Yeah, there was a little bit of that there. Yeah, their text box colors are swapped from DT1, which is humorous.
Oh, was that on purpose too?
No, it's because I wanted a certain other color for the characters, and I was like, crap, it's not the same as the one I want them though. It's like what they were in DT1. So I decided, fuck it, I'll change it anyway.
more megas.
Yes.
Mega, mega, mega.
When I'm in doubt about what to place next, I just put down a mega. It's like, why not?
That works.
Can't go wrong with a mega, right?
Double kill.
You were 19 and a 20. I was like, what can you possibly put down? But it was a mega.
It was a mega. Boom. They're so satisfying.
They are. Like, just the
They're really
explosion they make
satisfying.
is... explosion they make is great.
This is the most satisfying thing in this. Oh my god, and they go onto those helicopters. It's so great. Frozen says might as well sell some of those grounds so you can put down another mega. I'm inclined to agree.
Yeah, why not? There's nothing really
Why
coming
not?
down on the ground anyway.
And then he goes and upgrades it. Oh wait, no, wait, sorry, we're seeing the past.
Yeah.
Fucking time travelers, man.
Double kill.
Dude, they don't give you shit. Like, you can barely, it's like 2 grounds for a mega. Oh my god.
You get back, I think, 75 or 80% of what you've put into it. So if you've leveled it up, it gives you back some of that as well.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it gives you back something like that. I forget if it's 85, if it's
Uh,
70 or 80.
The ground units are actually a bit of an issue now.
Uh-oh. Oh, here we go. These megas will eventually activate. Oh my god.
Vegas took care of them.
Yeah.
Unstoppable.
Wasn't even
Can't go wrong.
Truck.
First I thought that was the game. I was like, wait, what did I do?
Don't worry, it's just someone with a very, very small genitals driving through. All the time.
I see you love trucks.
Trucks and motorcycles are what I live for.
Ah, yes. I suppose motorcycles weren't so loud, but they need to be so people can know they're there.
I'm thinking this, float can go away because he's not going to put down another Mega.
Yeah, you can't ever have too many megas, too.
Ralph actually just straight up proves that you can never have. Can you seriously not die?
Yeah.
Oh my god, it was so close. You have one more wave to get. You only have the.
Yeah, let's not die right now. It'd be really
Yeah,
bad.
please don't. Oh my god, look at all those things. That's okay, the megas will destroy those. Get up there, I want to see this. Oh wait, we're
got
skipping
him.
past.
Yeah, I showed it off.
Okay. Because it's the most satisfying thing to see the trucks get
Oh my
destroyed.
god. Just gonna walk around and upgrade all the megas.
Put down some more.
That's what he
Megas.
should be doing, but he didn't because he's a scrub. Oh my god. Zephyr, why did I fix the Unreal Guide typos? Because I was just gonna leave them there, but everyone kept like, oh, there's a typo, and I'm like, I'll fix it. I was just gonna leave it. But no, people keep complaining. So I was like, well, I'll do it.
That's. Get rid of the floats. More megas.
Yeah.
Alright, so that was Tower.
You can actually put down
Defense.
another mega. Put down another mega. Oh wait, we're
Yeah,
still in the
you're
past.
in the past. So,
Keep forgetting that we are time travelers.
so alright, I think that stream went, I don't know, in some respects it went better than I expected. Like Nightmare, I was actually expecting to have problems with because people kind of hyped him up. Sephiroth, I did not expect to take that long. Like, if people got bored during that, I do not blame them at all. But we got past it. I think that was. I think after this, the next boss is Brain Machine. Am I correct? No, not Brain Machine.
No, you have the
The
duality
boss.
guys.
Right.
Yeah.
We got the buddy guys, and then we have Sarah, and then we have the next dungeon. Right. So.
Yeah,
Sarah.
We'll be seeing at least through Sarah next time, I think. So that's a fight I'm actually kind of looking forward to, because El Piso I thought was a lot of fun to fight on Nightmare mode, and Sarah seems like she'll kind of be the same thing, like, you know, the whole Mega Man boss, but she didn't have much HP and went down too quick on normal mode, so that won't be a concern here. So either of you guys have anything else to say before we cut this off?
I'm good.
No, Zero says have fun with blood viruses. Yeah, have
Oh.
fun with those. In case I'm not there.
Well, Quaff was telling me that the knife special actually kills blood viruses in one hit.
They do.
Yeah, so that we might actually have real fun instead of, you know, fake fun, quotes as it were.
There you go. Zero, that is untrue. Even if you have no ammo, they can still siphon health.
Oh, they do siphon out.
I mean, they don't siphon health, but they still regain health,
Oh, okay.
regardless if they're draining ammo or not. So,
Good to know.
yeah, they give you a big middle finger there. I think so. I think they do.
All right.
I'm pretty sure they don't care. Anyway, yeah.
Thank you guys for sticking with me during my Sephiroth journey, and I guess we'll see you sometime tomorrow.
All right.